Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're throwing in a new brake booster for the Chevy and doing some other things, so let's get to work. Okay, so this is the new brake booster for the Chevy. I had to take the boot off the old one, throw it in there, right there. That was kind of a pain. But today I'm going to show you how to put it in and how to set up your brake pedal, and we got some other stuff we got to do to the truck today before 5:30. So let's do it. Okay, so this rod right here is what connects to your brake pedal. And I'll show more how to put this all together on here and how to measure and how to adjust your brake pedal and all that. So first thing we gotta do is we gotta put this onto the firewall back there. And it's pretty simple. There's 6 bolts that go on. And once you get it on, I'll show you how to put the master cylinder on and how to hook up the vacuum boost and all that. So let's get into it. Okay, so here are the 6 bolts that connect to your brake booster. Here's my master cylinder, it's just kind of dangling right now. And then 2 bolts will go into there. And here's your vacuum boost. I'll have a new connector for that. And then I'm going to put this on real quick, and then I'm going to show you guys what to do inside of the truck. And actually, while I was here, I organized all the wires that were up in here for the horn and all that stuff that I put in here. Okay, so here is the brake booster in the truck. Now this is the last piece I have to install for my whole brake system to be rebuilt. Now I'm just saying, this is like a really big pain in the butt to get out. There's a bolt like all the way down in the back, and I had to take the linkage off. I had to take almost everything out of here on this side just to get that bolt out, and I had like 3 extensions on it. It was very difficult, so just keep that in mind when you are putting this on, that it is very difficult to do. Okay, so here's my rig to tighten up the bolts on the brake booster. I was able to find a longer extension, that way I didn't have to use so many. And I have one of these swivels on here, and then I have my 15 to tighten it up. And now this should be able to get them. It is still a really big pain in the butt with this, but yeah. Okay, so I got the brake booster mounted up in there. I got the vacuum line on. The bolts aren't like extremely tight, but they're tight enough to where we can work on the inside and get everything worked up, and then I'll come back out here and tighten everything. Now, there's one thing you do not want to forget, and that is this push rod. Now, in these Square Body Chevys, there's 2 types of push rod. There's these short ones, and then I don't have a different one, but they're longer than these. So you want to make sure you have the right one. Look at your old brake boosters, see what you have, and this just slides right in, just like that. And now I'm going to mount the master cylinder on, and then we'll go to the inside and see what we got going on in there. Okay, so here we are in the truck. Here's your brake pedal right here. I'm going to show you guys how to adjust and how to put this all back together, because this is all the parts. You got nut, bolt, a couple locking spring washers, and a cotter pin. So I'm going to show you guys how to put it all back together. Okay, so here we are under the Chevy. So here's the rod coming out of your brake booster, and as you can see, it's connected right where my light's shining. That is your brake pedal, and what you want to make sure is that the bracket that holds this all in presses that red button right there. And that button is what controls your brake lights, so you really want to make sure that that is aligned properly, or else it can drain your battery. So I'm going to put this all back together because mine's already aligned here. And then I'll show you guys how to fully adjust everything. So this rod over here, you turn that, so you take it off this pin right here, and it spins. And to make it longer, you turn it to the left. To make it shorter, you turn it to the right, and that's what helps you adjust your brake. Okay, so here is the rod after it's connected. So it goes washer, rod, and then cotter pin, and then the bracket goes on, and you bolt it down. And you really just want to make sure that that bracket hits that button, and then you should be set after you adjust your rod. So yeah, that's how you put a new brake booster, and there's still some more stuff I want to do in this video, but we'll get to that after this is done. That's what it should look like once you're done. That's how it should look when it's adjusted. So when you turn that rod, you want to make sure that that button is all the way in, and then put everything back together. It's super easy. You just gotta have some practice with it, and then just bolt it all back together. Now that we're done with that, we gotta work on something else. Putting all this back together. So the last thing I need to do in here is just connect my right here. I don't know if you see it, it's so dark, but there's a rod right here, connects to that hole right there. and that is your linkage to your transmission. You want to make sure that that's in so you can actually go in gear. And then after that, we should be done in here. As you can see, everything's put up in here. All the wires are tucked away underneath the brake booster into the firewall, and then whatever wires come out here, I hid. So, yeah, that's where we're at in here, and then we'll start working on the interior. Okay, so now it's time to put the steering wheel back together. It's pretty easy. First thing you got is this lock plate. This is what locks your steering wheel every time you try to turn it when you don't have the key in. So this thing just like goes on like that, and then you'll press it down. And when you press it down, you have this ring right here that goes in and holds it in. And then you need a special tool to be able to press that in, which I have. And then after you put that in, you just piece your steering wheel back together. It's pretty easy. Once you see the bolts, you'll understand. But yeah, and then I don't have this because it just broke yesterday, so I have a new one coming. So that way all my things should work. Then we just got to bolt this back up like that, where it's flush with that, which is just 2 bolts. These bolts right here. And then once you got that, you just put the plates back on, and you should be good to go. And then you just pop that up into gear and take your key out. So yeah, let's put this all back together. So I wasn't able to find my compressor for the locking plate back here, but I was able to just press it down with my hands and get it in. And then I put the steering wheel back on and put these 3 Torx bits bolts in, and putting this big bolt in now. Then after that, I forgot I had to put this duct in this big plastic piece which goes under here to connect to this vent. And then after that, I just got to put these on, and then we should be good. So I'll cut to when we are done over here. Okay, so we're all done here. The steering wheel's put back on. I just got to get a new switch. And it's almost dark now because it's almost 5 o'clock. And so I should be done here in a few minutes, and everything else I have to do to this truck is pretty simple for today. And please stick around and subscribe to the channel, because I have more videos coming out about changing these seals that I got to put in that I just ordered. Pretty much just, we're not redoing this entire truck, but we're pretty close. We're doing an engine rebuild, we're getting new emblems, and a whole bunch of new stuff. This truck's going to be really good. So yeah, please subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.